little place with, all the condiments and all this stuff. The tea shops. So I walked up to the front of the line, took a cup, put tea in it, poured some water, stirred a couple of spoons of honey in, like that, turned around and strolled out the door. Nobody said anything. Nobody looked at me. Nobody chased me out on the street, said, hey, you got to pay for this. Nothing. I was the invisible man. This was so cool. They could not acknowledge my presence. A few days after this, somebody said, I was telling my friends about this. I called up my friend. My girlfriend was like staying with some other people somewhere. I called her, hey, guess what happened? Wow. And she's going, oh, I can really feel your energy. You're like, wow, it's really, And she started telling her friends, and they said, wow, you should give a class on this. Well, how can I give a class on just not doing anything? But anyway, I said, okay, I'll try. So I went down to the Portland Yoga Center. This was really funny. I went down to the Portland Yoga Center, and I looked just like this. I had a little beard. My hair wasn't quite so white yet, and there was a little more of it maybe, but not that much. And I don't think I wasn't dressed funny or anything. I didn't even have beads on or anything. I just looked normal, right? And I walked up to the yoga center, and there was this girl like walking in from her car, just like I pulled up in my car, she pulled up in her car, she was walking in, I was walking in, and she was like, she just like ran into the center. And so I was like, if I all of a sudden, do I look like Frankenstein or something? What's this? Oh well. And I was just like really in a happy mood. I was like, and I walked in and I was going to say, hey, can I give a class on meditation or something like this? And everybody was like, oh, and they start talking to each other, and they just completely ignore me. I stood there for about 5 or 10 minutes, and they were all like, oh, we have something to do, we've got to be somewhere else. Just like crawled off and went into another room. I was left standing there all by myself, and I went, oh, well, that's not a very good reception. I guess they're not really interested in being happy. Okay, I get the hint. And I turned around, left, went back to my apartment, and sat down. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So, that's what happens if you collect all your consciousness into yourself. That was 1984. What is it? 2004, 25 years now? Oh my God, it seems like yesterday. It seems just like yesterday. I remember it like so vividly. It was an eternal experience, that's why. It was just, that was a great experience. So you should try this. Try this. When you chant, every time your mind goes somewhere, understand that this is your identification. You're thinking about your body, how you feel, or what you're going to do today, or this is bothering you, or that's bothering you, or you're afraid of this or that, whatever. All these are your identifications, and this is why you can't chant offenselessly. Because your mind is all over the universe. Your attention is split among so many different objects. And Krishna says, those who are on this path, their determination is one. Those who are irresolute, their consciousness is many-branched. Many-branched. See? But when you take all those branches and you bring them back into one again, and you're not identified with anything anymore, and then consciousness itself develops certain properties that it does not have when it's in the state of identification. See? Just the act of gathering together all those strings, all of those identifications, and drawing them in and melting them back into your original consciousness is going to change your consciousness substantially. And you'll develop bliss, you'll develop extraordinary perception and sensitivity and so many things that you normally should have. In a state of normal consciousness, you will have. But in the state of diseased consciousness, we lose all these things and we become dull, dry, dead, like those people in the tea shop. They didn't want to look. It's like, oh, no, the light's too bright. I don't want to look. I don't want to look at this guy. It's too much. He's too happy. So they would rather be basically dead, And it's like Jesus said to the guy comes running out of the town. Jesus and his disciples are just leaving. And he's going, Master, Master, let me come with you. And he says, oh, okay, yeah, come on. And he said, but just a minute, I have to go back and bury my father. And so Jesus says, let the dead bury their dead. Give up everything, come with me. But he couldn't come. He had to go back to the funeral. And so he missed. He missed. In this life, everyone who is sincere, they get one chance. One chance. Maybe more. And sometimes they don't get any chance because they don't deserve it. But a good person in this life will get at least one chance. One chance, maybe two or three, but usually it's just one. As an astrologer, I see this all the time. People will get one chance to approach the absolute truth. One chance to approach a self-realized soul. And depending on how they respond, that will determine what happens to them for the rest of their life. I'm not joking here. This is very, very serious. How you respond to the opportunity to study with a self-realized soul is going to determine what happens to you in the rest of your life and your destination in the next life as well. See? When I found my guru, this is how I found my guru. I had a question that no one could answer. My question still is, how does music affect my heart? When I hear music, I get all these amazing emotional sensations in my heart. How is that happening? There must be some science to it. There must be some laws to it. It must be like everything else in the world. It must go by certain laws. What are they? And how do we repeat? How do we calculate? Let's say I want to produce a certain feeling in a piece of music. How do I calculate that? How do I know how to compose? I was a composer. That was my job. I was composing music for a living. I wanted to be able to compose a piece of music that would have a predictable effect on certain people. And so I asked my music teachers in high school, they didn't know. I asked my music teachers in college, they didn't know. I asked the music teachers in the conservatory where I went, they didn't know. Pretty much everybody that I ran into that appeared to be intelligent, like there was some musicians I ran into who went to Juilliard and, famous music schools, the Sorbonne and places like that. I asked them this question. They couldn't answer. They couldn't answer. So I kept asking this question. And finally, I asked this question of my Indian music teacher, Ali Akbar Khan. And he was, oh yeah, that's the science of rasa. That's what ragas are all about. That's exactly the whole thing. That's what I'm trying to teach you. And you can read about it in the Bharat-Natya Shastra. So I went out and I got a copy of Bharat-Natya Shastra. And sure enough, here was the whole thing. the science of rasa, the science of music, dance, drama, everything, all in a very nice, logical, scientific package. And I said, oh, this is great. So I asked Khan Sahib, I said, well, you know, how can I learn all this stuff? And he said, you really want to go to the expert? I said, yeah, sure. Who's the real expert? He said, Swami Prabhupada. Swami Prabhupada knows all this and more. You should go to him. Now, I had run into the Hare Krishnas when I was in San Francisco, you know, and even gone to the temple several times, you know. But to me, it was like just another one of many, many different groups. And they had their opinion and they had their style. And all these other groups had too, you know. But, I mean, some of them were so silly, you know, like Guru Maharaj Ji and Yogi Bhajan.